This episode of Dr. Glass is brought to you by Johnson Carnival.
Oh, Boris, okay, I was wrong. I shouldn't have drawn that picture of you. You're really a better looking guy than that. And me too? Well, I guess we have to bury the hatchet then, huh? Bury the hatchet. Yeah, I'll take the hatchet. I'll bury it later on. Okay, we'll take care of that later on. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, by the way, when's Natasha going to return? Oh, pretty soon? Pretty soon? Oh, she's just going to, oh, great. Well, where did she go to begin with? She went to Russia. She went to Russia. And after having her eyebrows waxed, she went to Russia. And what's she doing there? Her sister? She's visiting her sister. Okay, and her sister is a nudist? Well, have you got a picture of her? A nudist. Oh yeah. You're right. You're right. She's a nudist. You can see by her hand there. She's quite a looker too, Boris. Do you like her? You do. Okay. But she's your cousin, though, right? Oh well, you just have to just keep looking. Just keep looking. So, well, that's a great picture there. Hopefully, you get some more pictures of her later on. So, okay, hi everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of Hooked on Carnival. Or help me, I'm confused. That's you, not me. This week we've enlisted a 1960s hippie, Lady Gaga, and Donald Trump to provide answers to your questions. So, let's get started. And Boris, do we have first question, please? Thank you. Oh, another purpose for that bowl, huh? Okay, it keeps getting used more often and more often, different ways. Okay, first question reads, what is the difference between peach opal, marigold on moonstone, and marigold on milk glass? Well, if you see up here, we've got some explanation descriptions of those. First of all, we have an example of peach opal, Boris. Here's an example of peach opal, okay? Now, you can see the white along the back here, okay? And the white was created when adding chemicals to the glass mixture that were heat sensitive. And when the glass was reheated, these chemicals would create the white edges. The edges would turn white. And sometimes the thickness of the glass of the mold caused the raised pattern to turn white also. Okay? And this was done before they sprayed it with the iridescent spray. Okay? And this is an example of Dugan's apple blossom twigs bowl with a white edge. And you can see very clearly along the side here. Okay? If we take a look at the second example here, the second example would be marigold on moonstone. And here's an example, thank you, Boris. Marigold on moonstone. And again, the same process where heat-sensitive chemicals were added, and when it was reheated after being formed, you got this milky white effect on the bottom of this bowl, okay? And this is actually translucent, because if you look, you can probably see my fingers waving through the bottom there, okay? So that's translucent. You can actually see that, okay? And that would be an example of marigold on moonstone. Marigold on moonstone. Translucent, you can see through. And the third example of marigold on milk glass is solid white or opaque. In other words, the chemicals, after being added and reheated up here before they put the iridescence on, okay, actually turned opaque, and you cannot see through that. You can see how the white coloring, the opaque coloring in the glass here, you can't see through it. So that would be a good example of marigold on milk glass. Okay? And let's see, I think that should take care of our first question. Do we have any other questions? Okay, well, one more question here. This is question number 2. Uh-oh, this one says breaking news. Breaking news, additional information. In episode 1, we said that Carnival glass is iridized, pressed, and molded glass. Pressed and molded, someone's asked. Well, what does that mean, and how do they make it? Okay, those are good questions. What does that mean, and how did they make it? Well, we take a look up here. We've got everything really kind of explained in a schematic here. A press mold contains several parts. It contains a plunger, okay, a ring or top edge, the mold itself, and a bottom plate. And the mold is spelled M-O-U-L-D, okay? Not like the mold in your house and, okay. What would happen in this case, how they would make the glass, the mold itself would close up and sit on top of the bottom plate. Okay. Then the glass maker would drop a big glob of molten glass into the mold, and as it would drip in there, he would shear it off, so this big glob would then come down into the mold. Now the mold would have different designs carved into it, into that metal. This is big heavy metal piece here. And as the glass, the hot glass, the molten glass goes down into the mold, it would press up against those different designs, and those designs would start to form on the outside of that glob of glass. Then the ring or top edge would be placed on top. The top edge would have some teeth in it, and that would give the edges of the particular piece of glass, okay? And as that would sit on top, the plunger would then be placed in through this hole here, or aperture here, and going down into the mold. It would press that glass more up against the sides, and it would create the edges on the top of in this case it would be a compote, okay? And those edges would then show in the top of the glass. And then everything would be done in reverse. The plunger would be taken out, the top would be taken off, the mold would open up, and then the particular piece of Carnival glass would come out. And here's a very good example, very, very good example of a compote that was made in a mold. This is a Christmas compote. And the bottom of the mold would be where this portion would be sitting on. The mold itself would have surrounded this. The top with the teeth would have been on top of that mold. The plunger would have come down the center, pressing the glass to the outside of the mold. And as it all came apart, the designs on the inside and the outside would have been etched in or placed in the glass. The teeth around or inside of the ring here, the top edge, would have been created along the top of this. And then as this was taken out, it may still have been viable or a little bit molten, so that different other things could be done to it, maybe adding some different lips or different pour spouts for depending on what type of piece of glass that you were making. So that would be a good example of how a molded piece of glass was made. Okay, and there you have it. Hopefully we've been helpful in improving your collecting experience. And Boris, do we have any other comments from our viewers this week? No comments. Well, I guess that's good. No news is good news, right, Boris? Right, Boris. Okay. So keep those cards and letters and questions coming in. You can send your questions or comments to the address along the bottom of your screen, Dr. Glass at hookedoncarnival.com. And that's our show for today. Please run right out and join your local Carnival Glass Club. They're the best places to get hooked on Carnival. For those who live in or near Michigan, think about joining the Great Lakes Carnival Glass Club, or GLCGC. Their website is on the bottom of the screen. They're a great club, and the dues are no more than a carton of cigarettes. Okay, well, wave goodbye, Boris, and we'll see you next time.